Okay, so here I'm going to talk about the start just a little bit for statue and getting to Val. This part's tricky because there's a lot of lines that you can actually get a lot closer to a lot of the vertices than you think. So first of all, let's start with this one. You want to hit just the left of here, right? And there's this mountain that has a invisible wall. Right around here is the spot that you can actually like go over. And one thing I like to look for is I kind of line up the statue just like this. So you can see the left edge of it on full screen, and it's just enough that you can actually get past it. In fact, you can even line up kind of with the stone over here, it looks like, and then you can cut over here and basically try to directly cut as close as you can to here. Now let's look at how close you can actually get. Pretty close right around here, this stone, and then this wall you can actually bump into. It doesn't cost any speed. You can get really close to this. See, like the surface is really weird. Like the black line to this corner is flat. So basically, you just want to get as close as you think you can to this. And then here, you take a really nice sharp turn. You kind of go over the top of the hill a bit, and you can get really close to this stone here also. The first spot where you can get a major stuck is the big letter C here. As you can tell that I'm grinding right against it and I got stuck. So a really good start requires you to barely clear this, and once you're right in front of it, take a really sharp angle. And you can actually you'll get pushed, which is okay, to this next spot. So you kind of take a nice sharp angle right to this, and then you don't really want to adjust much. Honestly, you're just trying to get the perfect angle to barely clear this, to barely clear here, because what we're eyeing for is we're eyeing for this corner. So you can take a direct line to there through this stuff. And then what I like to do is I like to strafe change like right away, and then basically line up just barely to the right of this box. And it's really hard to tell, but this slope here, you can cut over it. You don't want to go to this vertex here, that's too far away. You want to get actually like almost halfway up. I guess it's not really halfway up, but it's like right here. You want to get as close as you can to the part where it's not a wall, and go over it. Cut the corners as much as you can. And then here you cut the corner pretty sharp. And you want to just aim for the right, just right of this. Don't worry about the block. The block is kind of not in the way. And then get close here. And then you want to take it nice and wide to Val. And then he'll see you and talk to you right away. Okay, so let's go over how I do the Val strafe, and I'll have general comments on how to do it, and I'll point out many features that help promote very good Val strafe. First, it all starts with the approach to Val. One major thing I heard was to enter from further right, I guess, because then Val will see you sooner. Basically, so turn as fast as you can. But the other concern that you want to have is you want to actually pull him towards the exit as soon as you can. That's a huge thing for any Val strafe method, is you want to pull Val out of the crate as soon as possible. And to do that, let's take a look. I enter the right side, and the reason why is because he'll like try to turn to you to the right, and it actually is like a mini Val strafe to start with. So let's take a look. See how I've already just I activated him and then I exited immediately because I want to pull him. I want him to face the exit and to rotate and move towards the exit as much as he can. So now I'm already coming back for the second pull, and the way I'm hitting C left to go left, and then I hit right, C right, and hold down at the same time because it's the method of control that I use. It's the most convenient to do it the sequence like that, and I'll illustrate with the controller, as you can see. So what you want to do is you want to pull him, you want Val to have a good line, because what we're doing is we're strafing Val, okay? So you want Val to have a very good line, take the minimum distance to get to the exit that you like to leave position, basically. And so what we're doing is we're rotating around basically the line that we want Val to take. So basically, Bond is going to be sweeping an arc about this size, but Val in reality is just going to be moving like this, basically, in like a zigzag fashion, the way that, like in the direction that we want him to go. Holding C left, and then I'm using C right and down at the same time to give myself space. See how I've given myself a bunch of space? Now we're going to go ahead and start rotating away from the crate because I need to pull him directly out perpendicular now because I know that he clears the edge. So now we need to get to the next point of reference. So I'm just going to strafe him a few times. So as you can see that I'm basically going completely to the left on my left strafe because it's easy for me to hit C left with my index or my middle finger. And then I do C right and down at the same time. And I'm kind of angling myself so I'm going downwards compared to Val. And I try to stay pretty close to him. I try to have basically my dot to be always around his feet, no further, because then you won't have effective strafes. Because the more he turns, the further he traverses, basically. So, okay, right here is the first point that you want him to get around. You want him to get really close to this point. The thing is, you can't have him too close because then you can't clear it yourself because you're going to get stuck and he's going to pinch on you and it's run over, basically. So now, use this line here that you can kind of see as a reference point. Basically a line in the ground that comes from the vertex here, and it basically tells you where you need to travel. And you basically want Val to go just to the left of the line or on top of the line is fine. But this is telling you like where to go for the next point. Okay, so one thing I like to keep track of when I'm grinding out statues when the messages pop up and when they disappear, because that tells me how good my Val strafe is. So basically you want to get to the middle of this stone before this message disappears, I believe. So right around here. You want to be here or better for 219 for a decent Val strafe. So the message changes basically when I'm almost clearing this. On a very good strafe, you can actually completely clear this before the next message comes up. But notice that I'm not taking Val directly to the stone. I'm giving myself enough space so I can still maneuver him while being around the stone. And take note about the rhythm I have. It's like left, right, etc. Right, left. And you can hear the way that I'm just tapping down just to give enough space for when Val's moving towards me, that I have enough space to keep going. Because if you get too close, Val's going to turn into you, and you actually get stuck inside of Val because he's turning onto your position. It's really weird. So try to maintain a minimum amount of space between you and Val. That's like key. Okay, so now we got to another point. So there's another line in the ground I kind of use as reference. Let's see if basically there's another line in the ground right around here, and it doesn't take you directly to where you want to go. You want to actually go a bit left to the line in the ground. Okay, let's see if I can maybe spot it here. Here it is. Clearly you can see a seam, and there you want to strafe Val to the left of the seam. It's just a bit of an angle like this, and you can take him along the seam, but you're going to be in a bad spot. And soon you want to look for a stone on the left. That's going to be a reference point for where you want to take him. Here, there's a stone. It's hard to tell on this video, but you want to get him along this because this is basically where you want to leave. And the rest of this is just doing another 4 strafes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's a leave. And you just want to like kind of just try to get the A to pop up right wing leap like right around here. This is like the furthest you can kind of do it. But for 219, you only need to have like A pop up right around here, maybe even here. Be better. The lead wasn't that good. The strafing was fine. But really, you just need to practice on like when the A message disappears. Anywhere along the middle, this is fine. If you're really good, you can have it disappear here, but that doesn't really matter. But that's basically the Val strafe. The idea is try to find some method that allows you to pivot in front of Val and still move away every like every other strafe is basically the way I think of it. I do 2 strafes, and on the other strafe I'm pulling back. Also, with every strafe, you want to do slight angling, so I'm angling left and right almost every strafe, just so I don't collide with Val. And that takes a lot of practice, really. Just if you watch it, I'm just trying to do this type of motion. It's like a straight left and then a curved right, straight left, curve right, straight left, curve right. Pull back with every step. It takes, honestly, the only way to get good at Val strafe is to practice it a bunch. And I mean, this method is good. There's other methods, like you can up left, up right, or up left, down right, up left, down right. And you can also do down on every single pull, like Sammy does, which is really hard. But you can get them pretty far. Any method really kind of works. You just want to, you just really need to union the left strafe and the right strafe together with some joystick movement, and then hitting down when appropriate to make sure you don't get stuck on him. Always have the pistol, I guess, around his feet. Like the tip of the pistol should be no closer than his feet if you want to play it safe. And have good lines, basically, to the place that I've said as a review. To the corner of the box. The second point would be to the corner of this hill, and then go along the line here that you can't quite make out, but there's definitely a line. You can see it right now. To this point here, and then right along the stone. And then there's another continuation of the seam or something. Go to the left of it. You can kind of see it on the right here a little bit. Go to the left. Okay, right along this line, and then you leave right about now. And then the rest of the level can be used from there. Okay. After you talk to Val, and you're escaping, you want to get pretty close here and just take the turns as tight as you can to the maximum limit that your stick can take you. And then what you want to do is you want to barely clear this stupid troll fucking line here, and just actually don't go too far down into this dip here. See how there's a big dip? Try to stay closer to the fence. I feel like that's a little bit faster for some reason. Like you want to be like that, just a little dip. And then you want to hit the very edge of the statue. That's like the fastest way to get Trev to look at you, or to spawn. And then you want to like look up and go a bit left, and then shoot basically as soon as you think you can hit him. Aim high on SA and double O, and for agent you want to aim at the nuts. That's the most likely place to actually get a fast reaction out of him. There's a damage table, there's like a reaction table somewhere on the forums under the Goldeneye Facts topic that really goes in detail, like how quick the recovery animations are. And then so after you do this Trev shot, obviously switch to unarmed, and then you're just going to wait here. Okay, so we're going to using Sammy Rogers 218 Secret Agent as a reference for how to strafe the ending. Or actually this is double O Agent. The idea is I'm going to explain kind of like the statue leave and the rest of the run from here, because he has better strafing than I do, so I would rather pick his, because his is a better example to go by. But the main idea is you want to be standing right around here, in the middle-ish of the statue, and when you're waiting for the message. This is actually the preferred method to wait for Val, or to Trev, because you want one of the shotgun guards to move all the way up. If you kind of like look away with the right strafe and do like this, if you wait in right strafe up right as opposed to up left, one of the guards actually won't move because he's not loaded all the way. It's kind of weird. So what you want to do is you want to like look like this, make sure that the guards are all in the correct positions, and it's easier timing for the leave with the up left, up right strafe leave than staying in upright and then like rotating away from the statue as a leave. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait till this message here, and then we slap 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I go right around now usually, but it's kind of risky. But that's what you have to do if you want a good time. So now we want to go just to the right of this guard. If you don't look proper, the guard will probably be in your way, or he's still walking. It's kind of weird. So you just want to go to the right of this guy. And then you gotta hope that you're going to get a boost or 2. All you need is 1, but you can get 2 on the below, let's say. So the return is fairly straightforward. You basically want to take the lines as sharp as you can, especially here and right here. Now you can kind of go parallel with this line. If you want to have a right bias, I would like to call it, to the stone here, because if you take the line perfectly, you're going to get too close to this. Because what you're aiming for right here is this in the distance. You probably can't see the ground, but there's a statue or a stone wall that you are using as your next vertex of travel, the minimum distance line. So from here, you need to actually turn left a little bit to clear the red crate. You should have the timer come up about now. This is basically like reference for 218, I guess, or a very good lead. This timer comes up pretty early or pretty late when you're close to the statue. Okay, so now this is kind of tricky, but on Sammy's using full screen or widescreen, so it's probably a little easier to see the corner of the box. But on full screen, you're gonna have to get really close before you can see it. But basically, the idea is to get as close to this and then take a nice sharp right turn. So basically, he's getting as close as he possibly can, and then turning right to go parallel with this and to clear this this other obstacle in the way here. And then you want to turn kind of sharp to the same hill that I was talking about earlier. You want to try to cut that corner as much as you can, right around here actually. So here's the turn to the hill. It's deceptive on how to do this turn. I think it's a big time saver if you do it properly. But you want to cut that so you basically save as much time, this leave as possible, and have a direct line to the corner of this other stone wall here. Now here you want to obviously take a sharp turn, or actually not here, but here. I got confused. So let's take a look at that. So you pass this one and then you get to here, and then you take a nice sharp turn right up the hill. You probably won't see the stone here, but there's a stone on the right that you're avoiding. And you want to line up just the left of this guy. This is the minimum distance line that you're trying to aim for. Now the next minimum distance line is here to here. So you want to quickly try to avoid this guard and try to get in between the two walls here. It's kind of tricky. It's actually good to be kind of close to this wall because the next line would be to hug the big C, and so you want to go over this hill and try to get as close as you can to it without getting stuck. It's very easy to get stuck on this if you take it too close. And then you want a sharp turn because remember, you can get really close to this wall here. And that's a big thing about 218, 219 is you have to have very sharp turns here to get really close to all these walls. Okay, so now if you have a good return, you're gonna there's this reference point I like to have, and it's this crease in the hill. You basically want 41 on the clock by the time you get there. That means that you're right around here. You want your about 41 right here when you start entering the uphill grade. It says that you're basically going to have about a pretty sick return, I guess. 55 or something, I forget. Or 30, 35. Okay, so the next important part is you basically want to get as far away from that as possible when you alert her, because it's probably, I'm not actually sure on the geometry of the box, but just watch how Sammy approaches it. I'm guessing the trigger is pretty far out. It's like right here, so you want to have a line to this trigger. And then the rest really doesn't matter too much. The timing on the FR pickup just kind of relies on you opening the gate, and then you kind of ride along the wall here just a bit. And then you want around 3 seconds here, 3-second switch, and then here it's kind of deceptive. You want to have about 0.5 on the clock left, and then you basically take this pretty tight. The FR is going to spawn right here, so right where Sammy's standing. And then you know you have a good flight recorder pickup when you have E before D, so you have E pop up before the objective D completes. So that's what your goal is, to have basically kind of YOLO it a little bit, I would suggest. And then now, this is very subtle, I should probably go over this a little bit. So after the FR pickup, you do want to go directly up the hill like you did at the start of the level. And the trick is, how far up do you go? Basically, I guess you kind of want to play it a little bit safe, because if you are going to choke, you really don't want to choke here, because this is a really big time loss if you get stuck. So first you want to go on this hill, I guess, right around here. You can actually take the line a little bit wider, I think. But it's kind of safe, I guess, to go do a two-piece line, so you're like never going to get stuck, and you go up the hill to the corner here. And you just want to make sure you're lined up with this stone here on the right side. That's like the most important thing. just try to make minimal adjustments. I really don't have a whole lot of advice here other than try to take the ideal lines here and just try to go to the right as possible. But I actually recommend you play it a little bit safe. Don't try to go for the seam here because you can get stuck on the fence. Just go for a little bit wider than that, like Sammy does here. It's kind of safe, but it completes fast. And that's basically statue. So let's go ahead and I guess watch the run in totality and see and go over all the things that we talked about from the start. So let's go ahead and watch from here. So watch both cinemas because it puts the guards in ideal positions, so you get boosts and they'll get backed. You take it nice and close here, and then basically clear this as close as you can. Take it nice and close to all these positions. There's music cues everywhere, like there's a chime here that I listen for that you want to be past these two blocks. Another chime on the strafe change here that represents good pace. See, you heard it on the strafe change, that's very good. There's another cue, another chime happens when you want to cross the seam on the floor. That's really good pace, that's for 218. And then another one is when you enter the house with Val, another chime. And then so Sammy's going to have a different Val strafe than me, but the concept's the same. You get very close and you try to pull him with every turn, like every half circle you go, you're pulling him a little bit because he's pivoting. It's kind of weird. Okay, so there's the stone block right there. And then you leave after A pops up near the end of the stone here. It's pretty good. Okay, so there's audio cue with the horns coming up at the top of the hill here for 218 or 219. Basically, you want the horns to play as soon as you climb this hill. It's basically guaranteed it's going to be 219. And then there's another one after you pass the gap, but that's where the horns play again in chorus, or in a chord. Okay, so that was a pretty quick trap shot. You can actually take your time a little bit here if you're actually on a really fast pace like Sammy is here. If you want just 219. If you miss the trap shot, you should pause out and get a 108 or 109. 108 is pretty good. That's what you want for better. Okay, stand in the middle of the statue. 5 slaps. Okay, straight change now. Go to the right of the start. Try to take exactly the same line like you did when you entered. Okay. Don't get close to this. Get close to this block here. Okay, along the crate. Nice sharp turn over the hill. You can barely see the silver crate there. That's good. Okay, you want to make nice direct lines. Close to the sea, close to these corners here. Nice sharp turn to the right. Okay, you want to get right over that seam. Directly to the part where you want to touch Nab's alert box, basically, or Nat's alert box. Okay, right along here. 3 seconds left on the clock. Go for the YOLO FR. Nice sharp turn. Just want to basically make sure you guaranteed to hit the corner here. Boom. So this music cue with the I'm not sure what they call it. It's the synth plays in. You want to hear that at least for 219. I'll show you. You want to hear that audio cue right around here. Doom. That's 219 basically. But on 218 you need to have it a whole second faster, obviously. And that's it. That's basically what Statue's all about.